Thank you. All right, so now moving to item 10, the major facilities elected member update. So Alistair, welcome back to the table. Have you got any comments you want to make on this one?
Just want to say that obviously we've updated this for June. I'd just like to say during COVID lockdown, we're very fortunate that we're in a very much a planning and design phase right across the whole portfolio. The only project we couldn't progress was Metro Sports Facility. So we basically maintained momentum right through, so we've lost no time whatsoever. And in some instances, we've actually concentrated efforts in areas and enhanced our ability to hit the ground a bit quicker. So it has been unfortunate, but it's also been it's allowed us some capability to accelerate as well. So we've done that. So because these are June, it's really any questions more than anything. I mean, I didn't really want to go through each individual project if you didn't want me to. So
I don't think that's necessary. We can take the report as read, but let's take any questions on it now. Thank you. Anne and then Aaron.
Thank you. I think Jimmy will say the same thing, but there's confusion about the Hornby Library Customer Services and South West Leisure Centre. People have seen the rephasing of the budget and they are afraid and worried that that will mean that the project is being put back. So can you perhaps give that reassurance in English, in plain English, that people can understand what this rephasing of the budget means,
yes,
and the fact that reassurance that it's not going to mean a change to the construction date?
So initially we have a budget applied to the project, and it is given a indicative forecast. And what happens is when you realise through your concept the actual way and methodology that you would deliver that project, you can then and you have a cost consultant that's reviewed the delivery and the concept design and how that project would be forecast in cost. Then we realign our budget and our forecast to align with that build capability. So that's the reason why the forecast gets changed to suit the actual buildability of the project, and that's the reason.
What you're saying is that there are there's only a certain amount of stuff you can do in this time, and so you're not going to need that money for the time being, but you are still going on track.
Confirming that it doesn't change the end date or the delivery
it doesn't
date.
change the end date. Thank you.
All it's changed is the spend profile.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Who was next? Aaron.
Yeah, so I've just got two questions, two different projects. The first one is the Performing Arts Precinct, given that it was in the discussions with the Capital Acceleration Fund to get it moving, so on and so forth. The construction doesn't start till 2022, and in the timeline here you've got a design from the middle of this year through to the end of 21. It's like a year and a half to design, when we'd already seen designs like from the Court Theatre and so on and so forth. That
we only ever seen concepts, never seen a design. You've seen a concept.
right,
only.
so you got a basic plan that an architect could then start doing all the actual drawings.
So then work on a developed and then a detailed design, and that does take time and consultation throughout that process.
So does it really take a year and a half to design?
We are going to market at the moment with a design and construct, which is a different form of delivery as well. So.
Right, so that we might have an update coming that speeds this up?
So we're at a point now where we've got a development agreement that sits with RCE at the moment for signature.
Right.
So we're actually progressing into a more positive delivery date for the whole of the project.
Great, that'll be good to see that, because the sooner that gravel pit turns into people on the end of hammers and shovels,
I'm hoping we'll be announcing something and putting some signage up soon.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So that's the good one. And then the other one is the multi-use arena. Given that various sectors of our community are starting to flag what they'd like to see as the first events and so on and so forth coming, there's going to be time pressure on the end date of 2024, potentially earlier. But I would once again look at the timeline here, and we've got, starting this year, procure, then the designs after that. A layperson would think that's the wrong way round, that you design and then procure, because you're going out to procure what if it's not designed first? So what, can you just explain that process?
Yeah, so we're currently in our enabling phase at the moment, which is accelerated at the moment, and we're moving quite fast through that process. We have already announced a notice to market through GETS that we are coming to the market with an RFP. The RFP is to ensure that we receive interested parties to sit in and basically build this structure under a D&B contract, so a design and build contract, which is then their responsibility to complete the design.
Okay.
And that's why it sits in procurement first. And to procure a structure, a $473 million structure in that period of time is tight, but achievable.
Yeah, and then that brings me on to our procurement for this. Is this going to be likely to be buy local?
As with all of our procurement policies, we'll abide by and sit in the sustainability area, and that's like supporting local economy. So all evaluated and measured against those categories within the procurement policy.
Yeah, because the importance of that's changed considerably, of course.
Yeah.
And finally, just on the construction and fit out timeline, this has doubled the amount of time of the Empire State Building. I'll just point out that seems...
I couldn't comment. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, health and safety has changed, but we do have hydraulics.
Consultation. And consultation.
All right,
I will
thank
drop
you.
that.
Are there further questions on this report? Jimmy?
Regarding to those major project, the master schedule, some of the different kind of the stage you have planning and the concept design, detailed design, construction. Some of them have overlap, but maybe just overlap 1 month. Some of them no overlap. I just want to know what's the criteria regarding to those projects. Some, for instance, Linwood 1, they have planning, their concept design, overlap 3 months. Then they go to detailed design, overlap with concept design, couple of months. Then can go ahead, speed out the progress, etc. But some of the projects didn't. What's the criteria?
Which projects are you particularly talking about?
You can see Linwood and also in Hornby Library, Southwest Center.
So Linwood's in construction now.
Planning one in the third quarter, 3/4 planning, but concept design can from the beginning of the third quarter just go ahead. They can overlap, speed up the progress rather than just waiting in there, because these projects may be crucial for the community. We need to follow up.
So we follow in most cases, Linwood in particular is a design and build again. Hornby currently is a design and build. So again, we develop the concept design, we go into consultation, we get approval, and then we will go to market. And in that time, we probably, while we're going through the consultation process, if we can go to market with comfort that we will deliver that concept design, then we will go to market and we procure the services required to deliver it. Which, if it's a design and build, then it is a design and build, and they are the responsible entity for the design of that building. So in some instances we can overlap, and what we generally do as well is, as we hit the ground running, particularly like Linwood, we do a staged consent process. So it means the level of detail goes through each of those staged consent process, so we can achieve our accelerate our production and delivery, but also try and improve our delivery date.
All right, thank you. Now, Tim.
Just with regards to the design and build, so that will be going out in due course, and you've put up a flag that it's happening, it's coming out. So all those parties that will be interested will be, I take, will have an idea of when it's coming out. So whether it's CPB or whoever it is, it's irrelevant.
Well, so the South Island as a whole has got probably Queenstown, Invercargill, Dunedin and Christchurch have got in excess of $2 billion worth of work in the South Island. So our tier 1 contractor range is reasonably happy at the moment, because they've got quite a lot coming to the market, which will give them some good forward workloads of between 5 and 6 to 7 years in some cases. So we need to tell the market that we're coming. So through normal networks you can do that through just conversation, but in the general form you would notice through GETS, inform the market is then informed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With regards to the timeline, the local events community, and I'm not talking the show type, I'm talking the cogs in it. When will they be? Because they've all said that they missed out with the town hall, and they want real input into the stadium, because they can make it easy in a sense with the design, so it's more I guess, future-proofed for when Auckland do have a waterfront roofed stadium in the next 20 odd years, that we can stand up against it. So when was this process? Because if we hand it to a contractor for design and build, are we going to lose control of that or say in that?
No, I mean, I think there's still an engagement process that has to be undertaken and a communications plan for the delivery of a project like this. Are you talking about the stadium?
Yes.
The arena, yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we will be communicating with all of the entities within our region as to what this looks like and how it feels. So it's a part of the engagement process that's in the engagement plan. So.
Do we have an idea of the timeline of that?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, to be honest, but I could certainly find out for you.
Okay, that would be good because there has been a bit of faith lost, and it would be really good because we'd need to have it, above the waterline.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know who it is that's the concern, because we do communicate quite regularly. So we are talking to a lot of people and communicating to the people that need to hear, as far as we're concerned.
Well,
certainly through the consultation process, we spoke to everybody. So it'd be good to focus on who those people are that feel they've missed being informed.
I'm more than happy to put forward those.
Yep. All right, that's maybe a conversation to take offline. Phil.
Thank you. With enabling works or early works, is the roads getting stopped now? When will people see the fence go across the roads and the whole thing shut down? So they can't drive through those two roads that are going to get shut down, so they can see something happening.
So as you know, Phil, there's a reasonable amount of work that has to occur. We've just finished our detailed site investigation, and the core sampling for the roads is just completed, and we found that we've got minimal contamination. One road in particular is coal tar affected, but the other road isn't, which is good. We're just reviewing that information at the moment. We're working with LINZ at the moment regarding the legal road stopping of those roads. So it's a piece of work that's in play, and it sits in the enabling phase. So
right.
I can't really give you an exact date because it's as you know, there's some complexity with regard to road stopping.
Yeah, so, yep.
Yeah.
That's the road bits. As far as contam on the dirt, so to speak, what's the...
It's reasonably good, to be quite
Good.
honest. We've found no major issues. In fact, Lee, who's coming up shortly, has been looking after the DSI for us, and we've found that the results this week.
Yeah, I think overall it's not too bad. Could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, I'm keen to move this on because we need to take a break for morning tea to keep to time for the rest of the meeting. No further questions?
I'm happy to move.
You're happy to move. I'm happy to second. No debate. All those in favour say aye. Against? That's carried. Thank you very much indeed.